So, welcome everybody to this free flow releasing group coaching call. We're going to start with a little cleanup. So, just allow yourself to slow down and allow yourself to just be present. Be alive to this moment we share together. And just allow yourself to be or to become alive to your senses. Feel the air on your skin. Hear the sound of my voice. Feel the weight of your body on whatever surface it's sitting or lying on. Just allow yourself to arrive. And decide upon a topic that you want to release on. And just notice what comes up when you focus on that topic. Notice the thoughts. Notice the feelings. Notice whatever stories might be there. And notice if there's any wanting to do anything with or about that topic. Notice any wanting control, wanting approval, wanting security, separation, or oneness coming up about that topic. And just noticing might be enough to make it soften, to make it light. And notice if there's any sense of the personal, any sense of me in that topic. And now, notice what's beyond all this. There might be a sense of peace, of lightness, freedom, happiness. Just be with that. And from this place, could you just send some love to the subject you're releasing on? Could you allow love to correct the situation? Could you allow love to transform and to guide? Thank you. When you're ready, you can open your eyes if they were closed. Just let it stay in this energy. So the floor is now open for questions, sharings, requests for releasing assistance. You can just press the raise hand button. It'll be in the bottom of the screen, either as a separate icon or under react or more. And we have Bobby.
Thank you. Thank you for the cleanup. And it's just such a gain to be together. I feel so held in this work in a group. It's like a real, just like such a strong focus and intention. Like dropping in. Wow.
Yeah.
Being with that. And one gain is from a goal I've been working on and you assisting me in too, is I've moved forward in action with the goal. One of my action steps was to ask for some monetary support for that. And so I have. And now I'm noticing I'm resistant to receiving it.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you.
You want to release around that?
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Thank you.
What do you resist about receiving?
Well, that just released with them, but there's like a pride feeling in there, like fear of being judged comes up.
Okay.
Fear. Yeah.
So could you just be with the fear?
Yes.
And is it wanting anything?
Safety. Always.
So could you just be with that sense of lacking safety?
Yes.
And you might notice that just being with it makes it soften.
Yes.
So could you let go of wanting safety?
Whew. Yes.
Could you let that go even more?
Yes.
Could you let go of wanting safety even more?
Yes.
And could you just allow yourself to be safe with receiving money?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, but I have to do something.
Okay,
That came right up there.
okay. So what's that wanting?
Approval.
So could you let go of wanting approval?
Yes. Ooh.
And some more.
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
Could you love yourself even when you receive money?
Whew. Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
So what comes up now when you focus on receiving?
Wanting to control like time management to do the project.
Hmm.
The resistance is gone to receiving. Now the mind's coming up with problems.
Okay. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, but
So could you let go of that sense of being out of control about this?
whew, yes.
Could you let go of wanting control so you could have control?
Yes.
And do you now feel more in control?
Yes.
And could you feel more in control?
Yes. Yes.
And could you allow all of this to become easy?
Yes. Allow it to be easy. Sure.
And could you open to having success with this?
Whew. Yes.
And more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And how are you feeling now?
Whew. So much lighter. And this piece at the top of my heart that was like just like a cap, it's just dissolved. More grounded.
Great.
Releasing works every time. So grateful. Thank you for your assistance.
Thanks for participating. Then we have Romy.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. These two releases were great. I keep releasing along. I thought I would work on business, but what came up is more on money.
Okay.
I am working on this goal, and there is some resistance to it. I like some assistance with releasing on it.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So, what are you resisting about the goal?
Having too much money.
Okay. Okay. So, could you let go of resisting having too much money?
Yes.
And is there any wanting coming up with that?
Wanting control and wanting separation.
So, which one is strongest?
Control.
So, could you let go of wanting control?
Yes.
And could you let go of wanting separation?
Yes.
And what else are you resisting about your goal?
There's some fear coming up that I will not be able to handle so much money, like not be a good master of money.
Okay. So could you let go of resisting not being able to handle that much money?
Yes.
And some more.
Yeah.
And is there still a fear around it?
No, no.
Okay, good. So what's coming up for you now when you think about your goal?
There's still some sensation in my chest, but the resistance is no longer there.
Okay. So could you just feel into that sensation and see what it's wanting?
Wanting separation.
So could you let go of wanting separation? And everybody remember to release alone.
No, what comes up is no.
Okay. So could you allow that no to be okay?
Yes.
And what's there now for you?
The energy is moving.
Good. So could you just allow it to move as it wants to?
Yes.
Could you allow it to untangle?
Yes.
What comes up now when you focus on your goal?
What comes up is excitement,
Good.
freedom, and space.
Good.
So I believe it's complete. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good work. So then we have Andrea. Hello.
Here we go.
Go.
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh, thank you for those releases. I would like to release on my inner roommate.
Okay.
My inner roommate. Yeah, I'm still identifying with my it's just like this judgmental, critical, needs an program update, please. Yeah, and I'm definitely not loving her. And I guess mostly what I'd like to release on is just still identifying it as me. Like I am still that hypercritical mind, judgmental mind. And I'd just like to feel a little freer around hearing it up there in the head, but less identification with it. That's what I'd like freedom around.
So could you just welcome the identification? Notice the identification.
Yes.
Could you just allow it to be there? Just for now.
Yes.
And could you notice the wanting to change this?
Yes. Yes.
And could you notice the sense that it's personal?
Yes.
And could you let go of identifying with that voice in your head.
Yeah, resistance comes up.
Okay, okay. Could you let the resistance go?
Yes.
And could you now let go of identification?
Yes.
And are you wanting to control that inner voice?
Yeah, I'm wanting to control the whole identification.
Okay,
Um, and yeah, I want to make that voice go away. Yes, I do.
could you let go of wanting to control that voice?
Yes.
Could you let go of resisting that voice?
Yes.
And could you just allow that voice to do what it does?
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
and could you let go of wanting to fight with that voice?
Yeah, it's interesting. It doesn't even feel like a fight. It just feels more like a takeover.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like there wasn't even an opportunity to fight. It just kind of took over.
Okay, okay.
Down spot. Down spot.
So, is there any resistance to that?
Any resistance to it just taking over? Yes.
So, could you let that resistance go?
Yes.
And could you just allow the mind to do what it does?
Yes.
And could you let go of wanting to think that that's personal?
Yes.
And what's there now?
It still feels like there's someone that should be controlling the actions. There still seems like there's a choice
Okay, okay.
that I'm a choice that maybe I'm not making, like I'm not choosing to follow and allowing it to take over. And it still feels like there's something I should do about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that feeling that you should do something about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Could you let that go?
Yes.
And could you just allow the mind to be like the weather?
Mhm.
Some things that's
Mm. Yes. Mhm.
and what are you feeling now?
I'm feeling frustrated.
Okay.
I'm feeling frustrated, but funny about it at the same time.
Okay. So what's the frustration wanting?
Approval.
So could you let go of wanting approval?
Yes.
And if this resonates with you,
Mhm.
could you let go of wanting to be perfect?
Yeah, that resonates. Okay. Yes, definitely. That totally resonates. Yes. Yes.
Could you let that go some more?
Hmm. Yes.
And could you give yourself some love?
Hmm. 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 Yes.
And could you love yourself no matter what the voice is saying?
Yes. I could. Yes.
Could you even love your mind?
Yes.
Could you love your mind some more?
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
What's coming up for you now?
Love feels good. The application of love feels good. Yeah, I feel like I can sit in that.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that's it.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for participating.
Mhm. Yeah.
Then we have Lisa.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you, Christian. Okay. Yeah, I've got a lot on my mind.
What?
Which is that's the problem, right? I said I have a lot on my mind, so I don't know. It could be a problem. Well, I have a birthday coming up in another week or so, and I kind of this time instead of just doing whatever, I kind of wanted to plan something. So I asked a friend, the one that got the really good job and has a lot of money now, if she wanted to go do something. I don't know. So I don't know. It didn't really, the conversation was kind of weird. So, um, I'm not really sure. It almost exhausts me to the point where I just like don't like talking about it just makes me not want to do it. Like
But-
I just want to throw my hands up and say, this is just too much work. Like I can do it for myself and make those choices, but when I include someone else who lives in another state, I'm not getting the energy. Like you have to have the energy to me is I just want to do it. Let's just figure it out and do it. But to go, well, and slow it down is to me is pulling me away from wanting to do it and throwing in the towel. I don't know if
Okay.
that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay.
So what's the wanting?
Wanting, I don't know, I've got competing wants. I have wanting control and wanting approval.
Which one is strongest?
Wanting control.
So could you let go of that sense of lacking control?
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And which was the other one?
Approval.
Okay.
Wanting approval. Yeah.
So could you let go of wanting approval?
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
Could you give yourself some approval?
Yes.
And is there a sense that all of the preparation and everything is going to be difficult?
I think if I wanted to go by myself, I think it wouldn't be an issue, but including her, I do think it would be more complicated and yeah. So I'm not sure how to answer that. I'm just gonna say yes. Yeah, it just seems like, and then I do all this and then I go and it's probably gonna be fine. And then what was I worried about? Or I've done that where I've gone on a trip and really, really nervous about it. And I just look back, I go, or a test or anything, like that's a change. And I get myself so stressed out. And then after the whole thing, I went, oh man, that was fine. It was fine. Like what was the problem here? I just get a little, whereas if somebody told me, hey, because part of my plan was she kept going back and forth. She said, it's up to you. It's your birthday. You decided. I said, well, I want you to be happy also. It's not just about me. And then she would say, no, it's fine. It's you. And then, of course, while I'm talking, she's changing the plans to something I don't really honestly want to do. I don't know it. And I can't understand for the life of me. I think it has to do with a lot of women. They just can't say yes, no, this is what I want to do, or just go with it. Like it's a confusing mix of communication. And that's the most frustrating part of the whole thing. Like, go left and then you go left. But it's like, well, I'm going to tell you to go left, but I really want you to go right, or I want you to go in the middle. So to me, that just is so aggravating. So it's wanting control.
Okay. So could you let go of wanting control? Just the wanting,
Yeah.
and even more.
Yes.
And what's there now?
Oh, there's a thought like I'm trying to please her. I don't even know if she would like doing this, so I don't want her to be unhappy. It's wanting control. Control someone's experience. I don't know
Mm.
what it would be like exactly. So it could be good, it could be bad, you could be bored, you could be happy. I have no idea. Wanting approval.
Could you let go of wanting approval?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
this is going to be difficult.
Right. Wanting safety.
Could you let go of wanting safety?
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And what's there now?
Wanting approval.
So could you let that want for approval go?
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even.
Yes. And the
And
next
could-
thought is, even with all this, it's going to cost me money. So, which I don't have a lot of right now.
Okay.
So I don't know how that, I mean, I could spend it, but you know, I'm kind of budgeting. I don't mind a mild amount, but I can't spend like a lot of money on it. So that's
wanting.
wanting safety. Safety.
So could you let that want for safety go?
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And what's there now for you?
Wanting control.
So could you let that go?
Yeah.
And even more.
Yes.
And what's coming up for you now?
Wanting approval.
So could you let that want for approval go?
Yes.
And could you again give yourself lots of love and approval?
Wanting control came up.
So could you let go of wanting control?
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And what's there now?
Yeah, it's starting to loosen up.
So just see if you can allow things to loosen up some more.
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And could you open to this being an enjoyable experience?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got some visions of. Yeah, it's just this hiding thing with my whole life is just you're not making the right decisions, or you could be doing more, or you're not making enough money. Like there's just the voices just it's like a lot. Like I have to monitor myself. Okay, that's wanting control.
So could you let go of wanting control?
Yes.
And could you let go of the sense of not enough?
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And could you open to the whole thing being easy and enjoyable?
Yeah.
So what's coming up for you now?
Yeah. I mean, a realization like I'm a different person. Like I'm not. Because my plan was to go back to my hometown, like where I grew up. I haven't been back there. I don't even know how many years. I don't even want to mention it.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a drive, 4 hours. And I don't have any family there. That's usually the reason why I was going there. But it could be kind of enjoyable, like not to have family obligations and just take it moment by moment and seeing what, who I bump into, I like it because it's a small town. So generally I'll bump into somebody I know or somebody's brother. And I kind of miss that connection that I used to have when I liked, or it was in the way I wasn't releasing that, right? So it was a different experience. It was more about me and how I felt about these people. But I don't know, it could be very enjoyable to be allowing people to just, you know,
Oh,
take it moment by moment, allow life to surprise you. Nice ways.
sounds good.
Yeah, I think I'll just write a goal,
Ah,
and then, yeah, I allow myself to whatever. And then I guess it's the next thought. Oh, I'm going to have a hard time if this lady comes. Oh, what's the want, right? Let it go, let it go. And then
yes.
let whatever emerge. I just forget about releasing how things can, all the impossibilities, that you think.
Hmm.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I appreciate that, Christian.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank you.
for allowing me to shift the energy.
Good work.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good. Thank you. And then we have Claudia. Hello.
Hiya.
How are you?
Am I not? Sorry. Sorry, I cannot hear you before.
Okay.
So can I ask,
Sure.
okay. So thank you. Can I hear? And I just want to ask, the procrastination. I mean, I should do something in my business and I don't do. And I just felt mm, I don't know, I just felt some feelings from these things.
Okay. So what's your now thought or feeling about this?
Mm. The first feeling is a scarcity.
Okay.
And maybe the laziness or fear, or maybe not worthy, not good enough. And I just felt a little bit imposter syndrome. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So could you let go of the sense of scarcity around this?
Yes.
And
Yes.
could you let go of identifying as not being good enough?
No.
So is there any wanting around that?
Yes.
So is that wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety?
Walking safety.
Okay. So could you let go of wanting safety? Just a want.
Yes. Yes.
And could you now let go of the sense of not being good enough? And what's there now for you?
I just feel I let go something because I cry. So,
Okay. Very good.
yeah.
So check and see if you can let go of more of that not being good enough story.
Yeah.
Could you give yourself some approval?
Yeah.
And could you, in this moment, open to being good enough?
Yes.
And what's there now?
It's much easy. I mean, I felt easier.
Okay. So could you feel into that sense of ease?
Yeah.
And from this place, could you send some love to the entire situation?
Yes.
And some more.
No.
Okay, okay, okay. So what's coming up for you now?
So it's much easier. I mean, every time it's easier. I just realize when I start, the Sedona method. I mean, with the letting go, these things.
Uh,
I less, do the procrastination than before. So now it's much better.
mm,
Just sometimes it's coming back,
okay.
Yes, but much better. And now I feel absolutely love and peace. Maybe I felt a little bit insecure. I mean, unsafe, or this feeling. I mean, unsafe. Yeah, that's the
Mm.
best describe for this.
So could you let go of wanting safety, wanting security?
Yes.
And a little bit more.
Oh no.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what really helps with procrastination is releasing on resistance. So you can just make lists. What are you resisting? And write down and release on each item that comes up. And when you release resistance in one area, resistance in other areas of your life also automatically get released. So that's a great way of working with procrastination.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really like Sedona. I think it's the best method in my life. I mean, before I try a lot of things, I think Sedona is, the magic in this mode. Maybe the really easy way. I mean, we shouldn't speak a lot. We just asking, and doesn't matter yes or no. It's letting go every time. You shouldn't thinking what you say or what you don't say, because it doesn't matter. It's not, we shouldn't find, something in our past or past life or something. That's why I really like this mode. You don't need story, you don't need nothing, just the simple be. That's it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for raising your hand. Then we have Rosie. Hello.
Hi,
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to release on resistance to doing.
Okay. Okay. Has to be a lot of resistance coming up in this call.
Yeah.
What do you resist about doing?
First of all, that I have to decide what to do. And I question myself, what is the most important thing that I need to do for myself?
So could you let that resistance go?
Yes.
And what else do you resist about doing?
I resist taking action. I resist the feeling of being overwhelmed. So
Okay.
instead of doing, I rather just do something else. Like instead of doing the things that I think I need to do, I distract myself and I do everything else except whatever it is that I need to do, that I think I need to do.
Sounds very human.
Basically, it sounds like procrastination too.
So could you let that resistance go?
Yeah. Mm.
And when you focus on doing or on the resistance to doing, what comes up?
There's a strong feeling like, or thought that I don't want to do this by myself. I wish there was somebody else that we can do it together with. So I'm always looking forward to the togetherness, wanting somebody else to be here with me, to do it together, to do things.
So what's
So
that? What's the
I'm
what?
that's wanting control.
So could you let go of wanting control?
Yes.
And more.
Yes. Mhm.
And what's there now?
What came up right now is a very strong desire for my son to tell me, let's do this, Mom. Let's do it together. Uh-huh.
So what's that wanting?
Wanting, ooh, wanting approval.
So could you let go of wanting approval?
Yeah.
And what's there now?
It's quiet and there's some sadness,
Okay.
some grief.
So could you just allow that to come up as best you can?
Yeah.
What's the grief wanting?
It's wanting love and togetherness and doing things together.
So just allow it to come up. Very good. And could you let go of wanting love and togetherness? Just the wanting.
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And what's coming up now for you?
What came up is that belief, thought that it's never going to happen. What I want, it's never going to happen. So I can let that go. It's just a thought. Yeah.
Did you let it go?
Yes, I did.
Or what's coming up now for you?
Mm. Nothing. It's quiet now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Better pace?
Yep.
Okay. Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you. So anybody else want to release or share again? Ask a question. Press the raise hand button. And if
I
not,
had a quick question, Kristen. Is that okay?
okay.
I don't want to go into details, but I was watching. I don't know if you know. Do you know Rick Solomon?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So he released a video about a month ago, I guess, 3 weeks. I don't know if you watched it, but honestly got me into my head because he got to a point now, Rick's been releasing. I actually met him. I've taken classes with him in releasing Sedona method and enjoyed it, but it was many years ago. And I guess the point that I don't know, I didn't have enough time, but I was listening and he said he got to a point, and he's been releasing for a lot of years, right? He was Lester's accountant, the whole thing, where he doesn't release the wants anymore.
Uh,
So I'm wondering, is that, with my mind trying to figure it out, is that kind of paralleling what Lester went through, where he just drifted into peace, because Lester didn't keep bringing up wants, letting it go, I mean, everybody's in a different spot, right? Every one of us on this call.
Yeah.
But I do wonder about that. I don't release the wants anymore. And I don't have any more quotes from Rick's thing. I'd have to watch it again, but do you have any comments on that, or?
I can try.
I mean, I don't remember exactly, but I kind of stopped it right there when he said, well, I don't really, because we can all release just feelings. We don't have to release on the want. It's just a stronger release.
Mm.
It's the root, So anyway,
My understanding, and I'm not saying this is
that's okay. I'm not quoting you.
what I understand, is, and I haven't watched the latest videos from Rick, but
Oh, okay.
but I have been to some of before, so I have an idea of what he's talking about. And I think when you work on the sense of personality, or the me, or the ego,
Mhm.
when that starts to drop, the wanting drops automatically.
Oh, okay. Got it. Because there's nothing to hold on to. Is that it?
Sort of
Like,
the personal is what keeps the whole thing together. And also,
mm-hmm.
when you go higher, you go into cap,
Mm-hmm.
you naturally let go as well when you go higher. So that's the sixth step of releasing.
Oh,
When you,
I see. So there's more constant cap. Like your day is whatever you want to call it. Your existence, is just in cap.
yeah,
So you're and you're not pushing yourself into cap. You're just in cap,
yeah.
right? Is that
So
what you're trying to say?
naturally release when you are in cap. And there's also a stage in courageousness. There's a stage where you go from it being about me to be
Mm-hmm.
we. It's more about togetherness. So there again, the ego is less present. So,
And that's natural. It's not just I'm gonna push myself into I
no,
am everybody. It's just there. Is that
yeah,
what you're saying? Like it's just there.
it's a natural.
Feeling the oneness.
Exactly. And the more you go into that,
Oh.
the more you release naturally. So what we often do when we release, we're often just looking for the next thing
Right.
to let. But when we try to look for the lightness, the freedom, the happiness, try to look for the higher states and be with them. And when you are with them, you naturally let go. And you don't even have to use the words, you don't have to use the questions.
Got it. And then there's less, I'm just kind of piggybacking off what you're saying. So the first thought that came to me is that there's less mind, right?
Exactly.
There's
Exactly.
less mind. You've gotten the mind out of the way, basically. And
Exactly.
you're not that person, you're not that, even that, I see. The mind is quiet,
Or quieter, at least.
quieter. Oh, I see. That's what no, that makes sense to me. I'm sorry, I was just real confused.
Okay.
Because he was saying it from his own personal experience, and not everybody can understand your personal, you know what I mean? Like, I can only understand my own personal experience, hard to understand someone else's and where they're at, but that is really perfect.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So
Okay.
there's no more, like what you're saying is, especially if you're not in CAP, you're going, oh, so here's the next thought, let me get it to a want. Here's the next thought, and that's where many of us, some of us, I'm not gonna say everybody, but some of us are, when we're agitated, right? But you're saying he's living more in CAP, so he's automatically letting go or has let go of so much.
And also that when you let go the personal or see personal, the wants naturally start to let go. Was that helpful?
Yeah, no, that was right on point.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much. It's because it's kind of bothered me a bit. Like, what do you mean he doesn't bring it to a wall? What, I know Lester was up there. I know we say up, whatever you want to call it, but that helps me a lot. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. I think Lester, he recommended spending time in beingness.
Mhm.
So that's just working with us or staying in those higher energies.
But that doesn't entail just, in my opinion, I wasn't with Lester all the time, I wasn't there at the time, but I think that Lester was able to actually do things, right? But yet still be in that state of, so he could teach a class, or he could hang out, or he could eat, or he could, it's not just sitting there meditate. I mean, it's good, right? But I think that's what he meant by permanent, right? He was actually going through an action as a character, like
Yeah. It was,
cooking or whatever it was, right? He did what I'm saying is he didn't just necessarily, or maybe he did. I think he took several months to kind of just hang out in beingness,
yeah.
right? And get back to the world.
Yeah.
But
And I think you found a peace in doing.
Yeah.
You found a peace in activity as well.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. But he did, now that you remind me, I think he did spend, I don't know, as I said, I wasn't with him, but he did spend a while, right, when he went free, or whatever you want to call it, on his own, right, for several months.
Yeah.
In Sedona, right? And then I think he was called back because he was helping people meditate. So he was meditating, and then the method was developed. And then Virginia helped out of whatever word you want to say, made it into lessons.
What?
So made it into more like formal lessons, like a worksheet, so that people could actually do something.
Yeah.
Not just sit there and meditate, but actually with the wants and do exercises like what we have to help people go free.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Andrea.
Oh, thank you. I was just thinking that'd be a great closing release if you felt like or had time to do it. It's fine if you don't, but just going right into that quiet, peaceful beingness.
Okay,
I see you.
I can try. I can try. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So just allow yourself be as you are right now. And check and see if there's anything you want to change or control in this moment. And could you just surrender that wanting to beingness? Just loosen your grip and allow beingness to take over. And check and see if there's more of that sense of lacking control and wanting to have it. Could you surrender that to beingness? Could you surrender that to the quiet? Could you allow beingness to take control? And check and see if there's any sense of wanting love, wanting approval, wanting to love, wanting to approve. And could you just surrender that to beingness? And check and see if there's more of that sense of lacking love. Could you surrender that to beingness, to quiet? Could you allow beingness to take care of it? Could you allow yourself to be loved by beingness? Could you allow beingness to love you even more? Could you allow your life to love you? And check and see if there's any sense of being unsafe in this moment. Wanting safety. Could you surrender that to beingness, to quiet, to peace? And check and see if there's more of that. Wanting safety. And could you surrender that to beingness, to quiet, to peace? Could you allow that beingness to protect you, to take care of you, and guide you? Could you surrender yourself to beingness? Could you just allow beingness to act through you? The door is always open. So just notice if you feel lighter, higher, freer, happier. And could you let go of how you feel and see if it can get even better? And again, could you just surrender to beingness? Could you just trust beingness? Thank you.